guys, Caleb here, back again with more bad fanfiction theater, and we have some guests.
I'm here.
As am I. I too am here. I am here for your amusement.
Nyx has returned.
Yay! We have Dave, we have Hawk,
Hi.
and we have Nyx. So today, we will be reading a story that's honestly been on the list since the dawn of time, I think. Almost, if not quite.
A while.
Yeah.
We discussed this back in Emily H.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been that long because, like, damn. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I was wanting to first do it with Hushcho, but then I have so many more cast members now that we could just spread the love to everyone. Yay.
To load the love all over everyone. I almost said load.
Well,
I directly made the joke I was trying to make, but much worse.
So we will be reading Back to the Frollo by Frollo Freak. Basically, this is a Hunchback of Notre Dame fanfic. The animated movie by Disney, not like fully the book, I guess. I don't know if they've read the book. They probably don't care if they've read the book or not.
Victor Hugo is crying right now.
Possibly. Maybe.
Or maybe sighing with relief.
Perhaps his spirit influenced the writing of this very yarn we're about to...
I doubt that. Very much. So, in saying that, the little bit I do know about this fic is that it's a time travel story where the main character goes back in time, falls in love with Judge Frollo, and that she is a big, beautiful woman who happens to be black.
Aha.
I don't know if any of that is true. That's just what I remember being told. So, we shall see. Now, I'm looking at this page. I'm not exactly sure how long it is. I have it marked that it is 20 chapters long. It may or may not be that, but we're gonna go with it. So if everybody's ready, Hawk, take it away, and for those who want to follow along, there will be a link in the description below.
Okay. Back to the Frollo. The prologue, or how it all began, because that's what a prologue is.
In case you didn't know.
Yeah.
Now I know.
It had been a grueling day, and Claude Frollo had put in long hours at the Palace of Justice.
Where Superman lives.
If that's a thing, yeah. First there was that band of highwaymen who had terrorized Parisians traveling in and out of town. He had laid a careful trap for those hoodlums, successfully capturing and ultimately punished them for their crimes.
No, I got
That's
nothing.
not grammar, but okay. Then there was that new dim-witted lieutenant. He had infuriated Claude with some minor insubordination, so much that Claude made sure he was justly disciplined. So what if this half-brained soldier complained, "I'll never be able to secure another position again"? You made sure of that. I'll get even with you, Claude Frollo.
The Minister of Justice sneered at this inane threat, and just what will you do? It is obvious you can't even negotiate a walk across the street, let alone perform your duties. Yes, I guarantee you'll never find work in Paris again. Now begone, you idiot.
Claude Frollo smiled. It had been a productive day, but oh so tiring. He needed a release. Claude paced about his study, restless from boredom, yet drained from overwork. A thought suddenly came to him. That's it, he thought. After all, it was a warm day, and a quick swim would be just the thing to relieve the stress. Claude Frollo's thoughts returned to the Danisha, his 14th FSM. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Yeah, there's no context given for that.
Google search.
Forward, side, mount? No. Full
His,
spectrum misogynist? No.
yeah.
Fake sex missionary?
Fantasy star muffins.
We'll go with that.
She suggested I take up some pleasant pastime. He thought. My lovely, wild, honeyed lady. Always so caring, so sweet, so
His mind raced back to that magical summer of luscious days and even sweeter nights spent with. She had maddened him at first with her off-the-wall humor and saucy tongue. Yet, somehow, she had managed to melt his heart and stirred a desire in him so strong he could not...
Stop this, he muttered to himself. Thinking about her only stresses you more. Even though you're in love with her?
Love is stressful.
Wait, good stress! A wicked smile lit up his face as he made his way outside. Mounting his horse, Snowball, he informed his sergeant that he was going for a short swim.
Why would you name your horse Snowball when you're in the middle of Paris, France?
Poor Snowball.
Nobody knows. If an emergency should arise, you'll know where to find me. And I can't tell if that's a paragraph break or not.
It
Yes.
Well, I mean, technically none of these are paragraph breaks because there are no indentations, but...
No. Claude did not notice the just-fired lieutenant lurking in the shadows of the palace. As Claude rode off, the ex-soldier motioned to some boys playing nearby.
Oh, is it me again? Okay.
I can't tell either.
Yeah. Hey, kids, he called to them. Want to earn a little money? Oh, no.
Oh, no!
Well, at least he didn't offer them candy.
Sure, said the oldest boy. What do you want done?
Soldier grinned. Let's play a game called Getting Even with the Boss.
The boys nudged each other and grinned back.
Where to? Asked the youngest.
Just follow me. And soon the entire group followed the tall man riding a fine black horse.
Poor Snowball.
Asterisk, 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 asterisk. But Frollo reached a lovely secluded spot just outside of town. The water looked so inviting and refreshing. Besides, there was no one around to spy on him or bother him with petty concerns. Why would he be concerned that someone was going to spy on him? Is this a thing that happens all the time?
No.
Yeah.
With petty people, yes.
Petty people spying on judges. Here he could be by himself, enjoy a swim, and collect his thoughts.
Claude tied Snowball to a tree, neatly folding his clothes and piled them on the riverbank, and took the plunge. Oh, this is heavenly, he thought, as he allowed the cool water to envelope and rejuvenate his body and mind. Nearly sunset, he realized, must not stay too long, but this is wonderful.
So, did he stay until it was nearly sunset, or by the time he got there it was nearly sunset, he just jumped in and had to get back out?
World may never know. Claude became so wrapped in his enjoyment that he did not notice a group of boys watching him through the bushes. He did not see those same boys quietly lift his clothes and untie his horse. Nor did he see the ex-soldier guiding Snowball down the road.
Snowball's free!
Yay!
Nearly dusk. Must get out now. I'm feeling so much better. Claude got out of the water and reached for his clothes. He suddenly panicked.
Where are my clothes? Where's my Snowball? He looked up just in time to see that damned soldier and some boys hastily running down the road with his clothes and horse.
So they're a clothes horse.
Yeah. They dressed the horse up in his clothes.
Right.
They thought it'd be funny, but they just ended up ripping him. Come back here, you thieving vermin! Claude roared at the top of his lungs. You'll pay dearly for this insult.
In their haste, the merry group dropped Claude's cape and something else. A sterling silver amethyst-studded device. Claude picked up his cape and the small silvery pager. Pager?
He's a dealer.
Huh.
Wait until I get my hands on them. I'll tear them apart, make them suffer the worst possible punishment I can. Claude Frollo was livid as he wrapped the cape around himself and, clutching the little pager, because that's, I guess, what it is, walked back to town.
Yeah, see, this is an example of kind of bad writing, because in that era, he would have no grid for what something like that is. We, as the audience, probably do, but there shouldn't be any reason in the story to call it that.
No, you describe it as a small rock, or how would you describe plastic back then?
I mean, they did it earlier. A sterling silver amethyst studded device. They can call it a device or an object, but you wouldn't
Yeah,
know
at that
what it
point you would
was.
just say a silver device or the device.
Judge
Wait,
Claude Frollo slipped back into town unnoticed. Thank goodness no one spotted me, he shuddered, his body now shivering from dampness and the cool evening air. Have to make it back to the Palace of Justice, and then I'll take care of those thieving ruffians.
Okay, I just want to say, you made it back into Paris without anyone noticing you.
Yeah.
How,
Yeah, no pointing and giggling.
like, wouldn't that be, like, very difficult for a man of that position, also, like, almost naked with the exception of a cape, traversing through Paris, trying to get somewhere? I mean, given his occupation, he might know, like, some, like, secret alleyways or something, but, I mean, Paris is kind of even then, right? It was a big, busy city.
Yes,
Right.
very busy and very filthy.
Surely someone would have noticed the bush with the feet tiptoeing across the...
Yes, and the wide cartoon eyes people.
Ignore me! I'm just a normal bush! Are you a burning
there's
bush?
no such
I'm
thing
not
as
a
normal
burning bush. I'm just a bush. I can speak. Go to
Just a
mass on
normal talking
Sundays.
bush.
Somebody keeps poking me with a stick. Just then, he heard a swell of female voices headed up the street. FSMs! FSMs! How did they find me? That blasted soldier. Now he will clearly pay for embarrassing me.
But the horde of young females had already spotted his tall, slender form. There he is, shouted Aranexta, whoever this chick is. Ooh, he is divine.
I'm sure a 70-year-old man would be divine.
Yeah, really.
I mean, if that's your
This
thing.
adorable wrinkled penis.
I mean, if that is your thing, I'm not going to, like, hate on you, but feels a bit far-fetched once you're a certain age.
Look at how his knees are knocking into his testicles.
Their leader, a woman who called herself Belladonna, urged the ladies, "Get him, girls! Don't let him get away."
Claude dashed side street, trying frantically to get away. He felt a tug at his cape. It was one of the older FSMs.
Madame!
Just trying to get a peek at that manly body.
"Ladies, please," Claude pleaded. "This is not a good time. I have important business to attend to." Eventually he struggled out of the cape and disappeared down a dark alley, fully in the nude.
Apparently.
Right, looked like an angry caterpillar is crawling in between his butt cheeks.
God!
So nobody's going to know this. A man of such prestige and importance as Frollo running naked through the fucking city, even if it's down a dark alleyway.
Wait, so
Right,
the line glowing in the dark.
and may I add, all of these ravenously horny females tearing his clothes off.
What clothes? He was already naked.
Well, what amounted to his clothes.
Oh, his cape. Yeah.
Yeah.
While the FSMs continued fighting over him. Feisty, sexy minions?
From what I've been able to piece together, it stands for female seeking male. And I'm just like, so you're putting like adult, singles ads lingo into your story. Like anybody's gonna know what the fuck you're talking about.
Well, even then, it doesn't really make any sense.
I mean, not really, but it's the only one that makes sense in context.
Maybe?
But I'm still gonna go with Fantasy Star Muffins.
Sure.
Out of breath, cold and angry, Claude hid in a recess of an abandoned building. He still clutched the tiny pager.
Why didn't I think of this before? Yes, she will help me. My beautiful brown sugar darling Nisha.
Right.
Okay.
Why
So
do
what
you
you're-
taste so good?
Oh god. Anyway, so what we're trying to say is, so he does have some semblance of knowledge of what this device is, but we as the readers have never seen it and are thus just confused.
Yes, I guess.
Claude took the pager and began pushing the buttons. He's sure pushing my buttons. Cast his eyes heavenward.
Oh, please let this work. He prayed as he began coding a cryptic message.
Da, 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 da.
I've never used a pager, but I don't know if that's how they work exactly.
You can't do much with a pager. Usually you're only able to send numeric codes. Like, the whole point of a pager was not as a communications device in and of itself. It was more of a notification device.
Yeah, that's what I thought
call
it
me.
was.
Or it's like, it's like you could have like predetermined codes, like if you sent someone, 80085, that meant that you were horny, or, 911 to say that you're in an emergency or something like that, but you didn't really talk or like actually hold a conversation using it.
Also, somebody like Frollo, if you had something like this that somehow still worked in... I'm trying to think of what century this took place in, and my brain is blanking. But like back when this technology wasn't even a spark in somebody's mind, not even close.
Not even close.
Somebody like Frollo would have been like, fucking witchcraft.
Oh,
Fucking
absolutely
burn.
he would. Absolutely he would. Especially
He'll have
his personality.
Right, he'll have the pager tied to a post and burned.
Well, that
Right.
and whoever brought it.
But I just noticed, because there's a copyright here, it's like 1997. It's
Oh,
like,
wow.
This is old. I was in middle school.
I was as well. I was, I was 8th grade at this point.
Yeah. Which, well, for my system, that is middle school.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, oh my. So, I mean, yeah, back then, like a pager would be all you have. They didn't really have, cell phones were not really as prolific back then.
Right. If you had a pager, you were a doctor or a drug dealer.
Pretty much. You're one of 3 money-making professions. You're a doctor, a lawyer, or a drug dealer.
Quick interlude. We forgot the reading order, so we're just starting with Hawk again.
Chapter 1, or How I Rescued Claude Frollo from an Embarrassing Situation. The hell you did? He's already been embarrassed to death. Anyway, I was not very pleased when my pager went off.
How is it working? There's no satellites up there. No phone service.
Yeah, see, that's the weird thing. You'd have to have some sort of weird future tech that could send messages through time, space, and dimension.
Magic.
Yeah, basically. Which again,
Frollo would put you on the stake for.
Yeah, Claude Frollo, if he couldn't actually burn the person responsible, he would at least burn the quote-unquote item of witchcraft.
With all the villagers standing around waving the pitchforks and the torches.
they tie it to a really tiny stake.
It's like a matchstick file.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, since that's electronic, setting it on fire would cause it to, like, spark, and they'd be even more convinced that it was a demonic item. Anyway.
Yes.
I was presently downtown attending a Wait, you were presently? You were presently. That's not how words work. I was presently, it's like, you can't even figure out tense regularly. I don't trust you with time travel.
No one should be trusted with time travel. I mean, do you remember the whole thing with the dinosaur and butterflies?
I mean, yeah, but that wasn't my fault, so.
True.
I was presently downtown attending a retirement dinner for a colleague, dressed to the nines. Oh, okay. Seeing old friends and coworkers and having the time of my life. Nonetheless, something in the back of my mind told me to answer this page. Maybe it was my parents. Mama could be sick, or I shuddered the house could be on fire. As I reached inside my purse and discovered it was
Wait.
not my regular pager, but that beautiful sterling silver device studded with amethysts that we've never seen before, which lit up the interior of my evening bag so brightly I had to shield my eyes. No, I had to hastily close the bag and excuse myself from the table. This was no ordinary page. This was a true emergency. My boyfriend was naked.
And in the past, somewhere.
And also in the past about 600 years. No need to find a phone. I knew exactly what to do.
See, she runs into a phone booth, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. High five.
Ah, but my question is, if the house is on fire, would it be paging her?
The house itself probably wouldn't be paging her no matter what.
Okay.
What happened? I muttered to myself, as I hurried through the crowded hotel lobby with car keys in hand. He wouldn't page me unless he's really in trouble. He knew I had plans tonight.
I feel like this is the second story in like a series. Like they set up giving the pager to the guy.
I know,
in some
right?
other tale.
If there is, somebody in the comments let us know, because this is, as far as I know, the only story.
Yeah, it's written with this, and I went over this way back with Emily H. It's written with this familiar tone, like we're supposed to know what's going on, even though there's never been introductions.
Was that a paragraph break that wasn't a paragraph break?
I'm assuming so?
Soon I was driving through downtown traffic. So busy for a Friday night. Yeesh, 20 years ago you could stand on the circle, file a cannon up Meridian Street and hit no one. Got to keep my mind together. I've got to get to him. Help him. Then my concern turned to annoyance. Oh, I know what he's been doing, I said out loud, recalling the cryptic message flashed across the pager screen. Bring clothes. And it got him in trouble. Good enough for him. I told him what would happen if he did this alone. Anyone would come along and, well, he does have a lot of people mad at him and...
No, it's not, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's not like we, in the 20th century, have clothes that would not look weird back then. So it's like, she would bring him a pair of, like, khaki shorts and a shirt that says I'm with stupid.
I got this from a Renfest. But...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if she's been going back and forth, maybe I'm giving the author the benefit of a doubt here. Maybe the main character has had the foresight to order something that makes sense for her, just in case.
Yeah, I am reticent to give any of these characters that much credit.
Well, I don't know. If it became necessary to warn him never get naked, then maybe she might have thought I had to get close.
I like how casually, though, we're talking about, like, oh yeah, Frollo just has some people mad at him, and I'm like, that's because he's a fucking asshole, as we established just a moment ago.
My voice trailed off as I approached a huge abandoned parking lot. My little Camry will need a lot of room to trip. I slowly guided the car into position.
So wait, we're pulling Marty McFly?
He had a DeLorean. I hope this works. It did the last time.
But you don't know. You haven't been back? I would assume you've done this multiple times at this point, even though it's just the start of the story.
Right.
My foot firmly pressing down on the accelerator. The Camry opened up full speed. Almost there, I said. Here goes nothing. As the speedometer registered 100 miles per hour. Bullshit, a Camry can't go that fast. I reached under the dash, pressed the little violet button, and in an instant was engulfed by a bright white light.
I'm sorry, I got this mental image where it's like, when you see this Camry go 100 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit. It hits 99 and just explodes spectacularly.
Make it happen.
Yes. The streets narrowed and I couldn't see much because it was so dark. What happened to the street lights? Are you fucking... Anyway, then reality struck me. It worked. I had to keep the lights low and drive as slowly as possible. People would still be able to hear your engine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't want to wake folks up or draw too much attention. Yeah, because the flash of your temporal journey wouldn't have made anybody notice.
In the middle of town, apparently?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just look
Right.
towards the hills and say, Mondays.
Right. Besides, the streets are so narrow, never meant for an automobile, so you're just like grinding the sides of your car against
Witches are
them.
at it again.
These good medieval folks would surely freak out if they saw this thing coming. I stifled a laugh and headed for the Palace of Justice.
Maybe he's home already, or maybe he decided to swim longer. How do you know he went for a swim? Because his clothes were off?
Exactly.
But now it's too cool to swim. I tiptoed to a door partially hidden by ivy vines, 'cause you know where he is exactly and how to get there. He told me how to get into the palace whenever he's not there. No one knows this secret entrance but me. Pretty sure that's a lie. I cautiously entered, removed my shoes, for some reason. Oh, okay. Can't have high heels clacking on stone floors. I passed the sleeping guard, who should be fired immediately. That's a
Right.
shitty guard.
Don't get my boss idea.
And crept up the stairs to his room. I quietly knocked.
No response. I then opened the door ever so gingerly, peeped inside, and softly called. Claude?
Still no answer. With little flashlight in hand, I entered the room.
When did you take a
Went.
flashlight with you?
Little, it fits in my pocket. I entered the room, went to the wardrobe, and quickly gathered some clothes. If what I thought had really gone down, then he's going to need these. I silently descended the stairs and made it outside without being detected.
Putting the clothes in the back seat, I thought, if he's going to thank me well and truly, but this is the last time I'm going to save his neck. Yet, as I slowly made my way down narrow corridors, my sarcasm turned to concern. If I didn't care for him so, I wouldn't be doing this. He could be hurt, or sick,
Or just
just a dumbass.
pranked.
My mind was shocked back into reality when I spotted a tall figure dashing down the side street. I guided the car to a dark alley, put the Camry in park, and waited for part 2.
And stayed inside the car because in those narrow streetways I can't open the door.
Right?
I sat in the car, hoping the figure I saw was him. By now I was really getting concerned. Several minutes passed. I forgot how long I sat there and waited. To keep myself occupied, I began to think about our first encounter. I was not exactly what he had expected. I was a little older than most of his FSMs and possessed a habit of speaking my mind he found most endearing. His expression as I walked across the square towards the Palace of Justice. I was sashaying in a colorful dress that didn't exactly hide my curves. My dark wavy hair tied with a kente scarf, way to an old rhythm and blues tune playing in my head, which was held high and proud. Sitting just within earshot of the colonnade, showing my big legs, and Claude Frollo said he felt a blast of tropical heat hitting him in the face. That very moment I raised my big brown eyes to the tall, slender man standing on the balcony. Young Paris Bucks tried to make small talk with this proud American princess. I answered,
Really?
answered one such little man, playfully, mind you, in my best old Negro dialect.
Why? Why? Why would you do that? Oh my god.
Wow. I belongs to no man. Whoa, okay. Except Minister Frollo. He and I weren't an item as of yet.
Then why would you say that?
Yeah, why would you say that for any reason, really?
In the world. I'll be honest, I didn't understand a half of that paragraph. I just kind of, I saw words and I was reading them and I was just not even really paying attention.
Okay,
Well,
so somehow you went back in time and you thought nothing of being in a medieval time with a bunch of people who are not even close to understanding current time. Like, it makes no sense to them. And as far
Right.
as they're concerned, you're some crazy ass witch lady that just showed the fuck up. And you're not even speaking French.
That's what I was going to say, might I add. They would not be able to understand you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you better be speaking very stereotypical French here if you're gonna go with the very racist dialect.
But
What's
they
his
were
name?
speaking English in the movie.
She's being painted as this
This,
African-American caricature.
yeah, I'm this big, strong black lady, except I'm gonna talk like a dumbass.
At one point, Nix, you read sitting just within earshot of the column A. It actually says eye shot.
What? How does that work? Yes, as far as the eye can see. How far was that exactly?
Right in front of her face. That's okay. Claude was so sweet, so attentive that summer.
Because that's totally in character for Frollo.
Totally.
He's like a little hobbit, right?
He's more like an elf.
Oh, okay.
We read poetry to each other. I cooked some good old soul food. Taught him
How
to like
would you be able to do that in Paris, France?
Who knows?
Magic.
Taught him to like old
How can he listen to that in France?
Magic.
It's also Motown is missing a W, I think.
And, like, so she's, like, the only way she could be having him listen to Motown is if she busts out, like, a Walkman.
Pretty much.
And again, he would be like, witchcraft, and throw it into the fireplace.
Yeah.
I don't care how gentle is the rain, it goes.
That would be like me hopping into Middle Earth and pulling out some chiptune.
Right. Anyway, told him stories and jokes that made him laugh. I think he's actually not capable of actually laughing. He called me, oh God, he called me his sweet brown sugared lady.
Oh, well, why though?
And said he would always look forward to my sweet wild honey kisses.
Sticky.
Point, Hawkeye.
This is
I
physically...
feel like it might have been...
What?
Hawkeye, do you feel at this point it might have been okay to kill off one of the Undertale characters to avoid...
It's sort of 6 of one and half a dozen of... But yeah, it's just, this is physically painful.
Oh, well, that's okay, because she's starting to cry.
Yeah, I started to cry at that memory, but I fought back tears just in time to hear a pounding out in the rear window. I got out of the car, walked around to the trunk, and breathed a sigh of relief.
Also, why would you be crying at, like, good memories, I guess?
Well,
Nostalgia.
I mean, yeah.
Claude! I embraced him, kissed his cold but still inviting mouth.
Gross.
Ew. I got here as fast as I could.
Claude looked at me with relief and gratitude. I thought you'd never come. Oh, my dear Nisha, my love. I went swim, blasted soldier, couldn't get to my clothes, took my horse. I'm so cold, Tanisha, darling.
I was going to say Nisha? But now that it makes a little more sense if I know it's short for Anisha, because I'm pretty sure Nisha is Russian for bear.
It would be hilarious if the author had the foresight for that, but maybe didn't.
Those are cute.
Yep.
I don't know if I'd want to be dating a bear lady though. She'd be kind of scary.
You could do worse.
True.
I
could be dating Frollo.
Yes, exactly.
This was not the Claude Frollo I was used to seeing. This man, shivering, cold, tears streaming down his face,
Why?
his otherwise neat gray hair all windblown. Probably in slow motion the wind was blowing his hair, right? Allowed himself to show a little vulnerability, something he never displays in public. He told me of the late afternoon swim, how some soldier has he had discharged earlier today had lifted his clothes and stolen Snowball. How he was chased through the streets by adoring fake sewer mice. I embraced him again.
Wow, that's crazy. When you said fake sewer mice, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme started going through my head.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
No, it's
Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Biker Mice from Mars.
Ah, yeah.
But what about the URSs?
The rodents of unusual size. I don't think they exist.
Wah! I had a feeling something like this would happen. It's alright, honey. I understand. I don't!
I don't either. All this is stupid.
It happened. This did not make sense.
Yes, it happened, but did not make any sense. He held me tightly and kissed me tenderly, because I'm the one who needed comforting, I guess.
I had managed to escape with only this. He revealed a sterling silver pager studded with amethysts. I was desperate, Nisha. You were the only one I could turn to.
Was that it? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it looks like a full ornament. Yeah, anyway. I opened the back door, reached inside, handed him a pile of clothes, then waited as Claude sat in the back seat, dressing hurriedly. We don't have much time, I said. Anyone could come along and... That was it, right?
Oh, okay. Wow. I am aware of that, he replied with a haughty-edged voice. It was a good sign, somehow. He had quickly regained his usual commanding demeanor. No, the word you're looking for is condescending.
Are we still good to continue?
Yeah.
Chapter 3. Claude,
Oh my goodness, wall of text. Please separate your paragraphs.
Yeah.
Or indent. Or something.
Yes.
And by suffering.
Claude, I asked, whatever possessed you to do such a thing? I was, of course, referring to the discharge of his lieutenant, and the resultant cruel prank. I told you what could possibly happen, and sure enough. You know, you're a woman in medieval France. I'm pretty sure at this point he'd bitch slap you for even telling him that he was wrong.
He probably wouldn't assault her physically.
True.
That would be frowned upon. But he would definitely try to put her in her place.
Yes, because you did not do that as a woman in that time period.
But, if she is from, close enough to modern day, and from what I've seen, she doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, she's going back and, talking like an African-American cartoon, basically, and not caring.
That was given. Was more than a little annoyed, having to interrupt a pleasant evening just to soothe his bruised ego. I must have lost my head. Had it ever occurred to you that this soldier would have it in for you? That there are folks out there who would be bold enough to pull such a prank and not get caught?
People who got pissed off back then, they didn't just steal your clothes. He got off lucky.
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
Real lucky.
Claude Frollo, now fully dressed, adjusted the familiar triangular hat with its long red silk veil. Then he wheeled around and glared at it.
Dun dun dun.
I knew you were a witch all along. You must burn!
Honestly, Tanisha, spare me the lecture. As he raised his hands in exasperation, I indulge in a little recreation, do something to relieve the stress, as you are always telling me. How was I to know what was about to transpire? Oh, really, darling, this sister in a snit, while at times I find it somewhat amusing, right now it is not very becoming. How I perform my duties and indulge my free time is none of your concern.
Which is totally why you then called her to bail you out.
Right.
I felt tears well up in my eyes, which you should be used to with somebody as dickish as Frollo.
Right.
He had never before spoken to me so harshly, I doubt this. Claude sensed my reaction, softened his tone, and took me in his arms. Because that fixes everything.
Right.
Forgive me, Nisha, he whispered sweetly in my ear. I shouldn't have berated you like that. It's just that I was so angry, oh, my sweet love. Is that a continuation or paragraph break? I'll just go with
No,
it.
there's no paragraph there.
Okay, making sure. He kissed me deeply and tenderly. You always come through for me, and what do? Rail away at you when I should be showing my gratitude.
Gave him my "what are you gonna do about it" look and asked, with hands on my hips, "And just how grateful are you, Claude Frollo?"
You can just see her neck bobbing back and forth.
Right? with the raised finger being waved back and forth.
A broad, seductive smile spread across his handsome face. In a playful voice, and with a cute little wiggle of the hips, he replied,
Really? Sorry, go on.
"Oh, I can think of a few things. Womp, 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 womp."
Oh, why, I thought. Does
I
he have
wanna
to be
say
so
something.
damn fun?
I
What?
want to say something.
Oh, go ahead, please.
Also, in this day and age, weren't priests expected to be celibate?
Absolutely they are. That was actually a plot point in the movie.
Correct.
So, yeah, no, he shouldn't be sexy and seductive. That, he would be offended at the thought.
Yeah, well, even
of
in the
being
books, he was like, I shouldn't be consumed with desire like this. I need to leave and go do something else. Which solved his problem until he came back, and then it was like, no, I'm still lusting after this girl. Sorry, I'm lost now.
Oh, why, I thought, does he have to be so damn fine? He cut quite a figure in his black purple-trimmed velvet tunic and pants that fitted oh so tight. The sweeping cape, that hat, the hat, really?
Well,
Those boots.
well, I just want to say,
The
it's in the
boots I
middle
can
of night.
understand.
Why would he get fully dressed in his own quarters?
Yeah, especially it's like you'd think that he would put on like a nightgown or whatever the equivalent was.
Yeah.
Well, she just got him dressed, and now she wants to take it all off again.
Right. Anyway, that hat, those boots, I swear I wanted to, well, right then and there. So you can't even describe the act. Not even in your own head.
Or maybe in 6 chapters.
Maybe.
Hold on, hot stuff, I thought as I surveyed the dark little alley with trash piled here and there. This is hardly the place. Now, that's actually, in a better story, that would actually be a good detail, because France was filthy. There was trash everywhere.
Oh, wait, apparently my brain decided to do a time skip. I thought we were back at his place now, but we're not.
But yeah, Paris in particular was, like, dangerously filthy. It was disease-ridden.
Back to the palace?
Claude pondered a bit. "No, my dear, they are most likely swarming all over the place by now." He eyed the Camry and then gave me a sly glance.
Fuck in the back of the car, sure.
Oh.
Great minds think alike, don't they, baby?
Not that either of you would know.
I said as I opened the door on the passenger side. Claude settled himself in soft velour seats as I walked around to the other side. Boy, I thought, this evening's not a total washout after all. Claude buckled his safety belt. Oh, right, they're just gonna go. And as I began to switch on the ignition, he looked at me with questioning eyes. Well, have we forgotten something?
I strapped on my safety belt. I forgot how much Claude cares about my well. Man, if the guy from the 15th century is more acutely aware of your seatbelt situation than you are, that's not good.
Did you finish that sentence, Hawk?
I did, yes.
Okay, because I didn't hear it. You stopped and then you started ranting. So.
Okay, I strapped on my safety belt. I forgot how much Claude cares about my well-being. Oh.
Are you sure this will work second time? He asked.
"Got me here, didn't it?" came the reply. Claude Frollo smiled. "Drive on, then."
I got lost.
Adding the little Camry.
Okay, I got it. Okay. Guiding the little Camry down the narrow streets, we came to the immense square near the Palace of Justice. Just as Claude predicted, a horde of young women crowded her palace's main entrance. "Turn off the lights," Claude whispered.
I doused the lights. You don't actually douse electric lights. That would be bad.
Maybe with a baseball bat.
Because dousing something means to pour water on.
Uh-huh.
Now what? I asked. Drive toward Notre Dame, he directed. They wouldn't dream of going there. At least I hope not.
I complied and drove toward the cathedral. I said hi to Quasimodo as we passed by. It was amazing how quickly we reached the Place de Notre Dame, and without being detected, which I find difficult. "Do you have enough room to do this?" Claude asked.
You'll find out. The Camry was in position. Brace yourself. As my foot pressed down hard on the accelerator, Claude's eyes were wide with alarm, and just before I reached under the dash and pressed the violet button, he saw Quasimodo at the front entrance of Notre Dame.
Is she driving a car into a cathedral?
She's driving it into Quasimodo.
Oh, maybe it'll make him look.
Oh!
Yeah, you're coming to hell with me.
No, I'm not. So long, sucker.
Protect Quasimodo, thank you.
"Don't worry, Master," Quasi called out. "I won't tell a soul."
Because you're aware of all of this.
Mm-hmm.
What a sweet little guy, I remarked just before a bright white light engulfed us. Claude, shielding his eyes, replied, I can always count on him.
Except when I can't, because he saved a gypsy that I was madly in lust with.
He closed his eyes tightly as we sped through time and space, then darkness again.
"You can open your eyes now, honey," I said as I guided the car through downtown streets. Claude Frollo slowly opened his eyes with a sigh of relief. He turned to me and said, "I never thought a 20th century American city would be such a welcome sight. Besides, I needed to get out from under all that. Isn't that the American Legion Mall?"
How would you know?
'Cause I guess he's been here before?
I have a time travel question.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So this time travel car goes through time and space, right?
Correct?
Yeah.
Because they end up they started at the cathedral, they ended up in a mall, right?
Yeah, somehow. Not even
Right.
the DeLorean does that.
Some crazy how, right? And this goes for the DeLorean. Does Doc Brown take into mind the rotation of the Earth when he sets off to travel through time? Like the car is going forward, right?
Yeah.
And presumably it's going to appear in the same space, but the same space is not in the same space because the world has rotated by that time.
Well, we're assuming basically the physical momentum it's basically, for all intents and purposes, instantaneous. So you're not going to have the car hurtling off into space because the Earth's moved on without it. There's just not enough time for that to happen.
Oh, so we're going back in time. We're at the exact time, only the date is different.
Yeah. I mean, because we're assuming that the car...
We're assuming a lot.
Yeah, we are assuming a lot, but we're assuming with the DeLorean, when it time shifts, it is only moving through time, as far as the singularity is concerned. It's not moving it through space. The only thing that's moving it through space is the momentum of the vehicle.
Well, I'm still concerned that Doc Brown will be, he'll be firing up his time machine in the middle of what he thinks is an empty field, and it goes back in time, and he's instantly obliterated the last buffalo.
I mean, that is a concern no matter what, because you're appearing in the same place at a different time. That doesn't mean your surroundings are going to be the same.
Oh, okay. Please carry on.
Lovely grounds, very green and well laid out. I knew he was trying to make small talk, but I didn't mind. He had just come through a highly embarrassing and nerve-wracking ordeal. Sure, and he really needed a little release.
So to speak.
Which in that case, you could just, have put him in your back seat, giving him a BJ or a hand job, and let him be on his way.
Yeah, which, again, he should be appalled at the thought of.
Yes, that's it, I replied, watching the way he toyed with the radio. Here, Claude, as I fumbled around in the console between the seats. Pop this in the CD player, because he knows what that is.
Well, I mean, it's been implied heavily that this isn't their first rodeo, but we as the readers don't have a grid for it.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm kind of just sort of like that unsettling feeling because this shouldn't be a thing that they're familiar with because you as the reader haven't experienced it with them, so it doesn't seem like...
Yeah, it's the equivalent of coming into the movie halfway.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you could solve this by basically having her remember, like, in the past when this first happened, and, like, how maybe, like, scared or angry he was at everything, but once he was explained things or shown how it worked, he slowly eased a little more into it the more he got used to being with something like that.
Which let me point out, the so-called prologue wasn't really a prologue, because that's the sort of thing that you put in a prologue.
Yeah, that was more in medias res.
That was just chapter 1 by a different name.
Speaking on the idea of coming into a movie halfway, I had a friend recently who watched Endgame. No spoilers, but watched Endgame without having seen the other 20 movies to come before.
Oh no! Oh no!
No, they were very confused.
Yeah, no kidding.
They saw, I guess, Ant-Man pop up out of nowhere, and who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah.
And they explained that well, they were with my friend was with her husband, and she was saying, "Who's that guy? Who's just pop up?" And there was a kid next to him, and he said, "That's Ant-Man." And he's, "Oh, okay, it's Ant-Man."
That's funny.
Okay, my turn, right?
Yes.
I don't
Okay.
think so.
You made a time machine out of a Camry?
Nice.
Claude Frollo burst into smiles and laughter. Ray Charles, nighttime is the right time. I remember when you sang this to me the first night we
Square danced.
Still chuckling, Claude loaded the silvery disc into the player, hit the play button, and soon we were singing along with Ray Charles as we cruised up Meridian Street towards the north side neighborhood where I live.
Chapter 4! Chapter 4! Chapter 4!
Here I am, baby.
Here I am, baby. Signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Stevie Wonder belted from the radio.
Wait.
Huh?
That's not by the California Raisins?
Well...
What's going on in the background?
Sounds like a tuba.
A little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was one of my neighbors. And
here I am, baby. Signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. The California Raisins belted from the radio.
you have to sing it.
Say what now?
You have to sing it.
I don't know how it goes.
Here I am, baby. Signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Now you try.
Thank you.
Now you try.
No, I'm good. There's no way I could match you. Stevie Wonder belted from the radio, to which I tuned in an oldie. Wait, hang on. To which I tuned in an oldie station just as this song. That's bad.
Are we done with the CD?
I guess. So apparently she didn't like this song, so she decided to turn to an oldie station.
Well, I can't tell what she's talking about because the grammar is so bad. But I think what she's saying is she tuned into an oldie station just as the Stevie Wonder song started. I believe that's what she's trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
We had just crossed 30th Street, and Claude was crooning the lyrics and doing little shimmies in his seat. Sure.
It's so adorable.
I laughed out loud at this sudden display of silliness. This man, who was always so poised, so cool and confident, regal and aristocratic. Ah, the aristocrats, that makes sense. Allowed himself to turn it loose. But after what he'd been through, I didn't mind him indulging in a little fun.
I convinced him a long time ago to lighten up, get a little silly, when things got him down. Back during the fabulous summer, whenever the fuck that was, he was astonished at my ability to be proper and low-key one moment.
Which has never been established.
Yeah, and then completely off the wall the next. My taste in music and literature intrigued him, which we're not aware of past the music part.
Right.
I read Nikki Giovanni, Ida B. Wells, and Zora Neale Hurston, quoted Lincoln, Kennedy, and King, collected old slave and Civil War narratives, and sang blues and jazz along with the old Motown and R&B I grew up on. Also, all these are far better things you should be investing your time with other than the story.
Okay.
That's
Agreed.
I think everything about me intrigued him. Sure. As I was intrigued...
when you're done stroking your dick, we can get...
Yeah, right?
As I was intrigued by his complexities, if you want to call them that. His racism...
His
homicidal tendencies.
No, my dear, you just mean his complexes.
Claude became suddenly quiet. I switched off the radio and glanced at him. What's wrong, baby?
Did we get the rest of it? Oh, I didn't hear the what's wrong. All right.
What's wrong, baby?
Okay. Claude just sat there, staring out the window. I ruined your evening, my darling Denisha, my dear sweet, he began, as his hand softly caressed my face. I completely
But you're driving!
I completely forgot that you had previous plans. This whole evening has been a shambles. I go out for some refreshing activity. Blast that damn soldier! Not to mention the girls chasing me as if I was, pervert.
Oh, that's the end of that. Okay. Claude fell silent, and if they ever find out this, I'll never live it down.
They, of course, referred... What?
Say it! Say it!
They, of course, referred to the Disney people.
Fourth
The
wall
Disney people!
destroyed! K.O.
Now, Claude, I began, you know, and I know, that you have this reputation for being how can I put this? Heartthrob? No.
That's wrong.
A sex symbol? No.
No.
Oh.
I mean, Disney insisted on portraying you as this evil, cold-hearted villain, because he was, in a way. But we all know the real Claude Frollo is pretty much exactly as he was portrayed in the show.
All right, here's my question here. Really time traveling, or is she just hopping universes? That's
Well,
This
the
sounds-
thing is, people get so confused on that, and it's like, I am much more interested in the machinations of time travel than most people, but people have a tendency to confuse time travel with dimension travel all the time.
I certainly do at all times.
At this point, she's like Sora jumping into Winnie the Pooh's book. She somehow jumped into the animated movie and pulled Frollo out.
Yeah, but they don't know about Disney. Winnie the Pooh doesn't know about the Disney people. But she pulled him out of ancient Paris. She didn't pull him out of Disneyland.
Right, that's the issue here.
Right.
Oh, it's still my turn. Sorry.
It's okay.
Is it? Oh, yeah, it is.
Claude interrupted with a burst of hearty laughter. Me? A sex symbol? Oh, really, darling? I can assure you that I'm...
Yeah, kind of old and gangly, actually. Baby, you can't help it if you're so good looking. Sorry. Tall and lean, that sexy smile, you dress fabulously, you have the best moves. Oh, and let's not forget that deep, smooth, manly voice. Wait, hang on. Power, wealth, well-educated, no wonder you have the women chasing you, present company included. You got it going on, sugar britches, and you know it.
I read that as sugar bitches.
I mean, that's probably more to the point, really.
What's the reading order again?
Hawk, me, next, Dave.
Right.
Did we skip Dave?
Yeah, we did. But
Did we?
Hawk was doing so well, I couldn't have.
Well, go ahead, Dave. Take.
You just gave me enough rope to hang myself with. That's what we're talking
Oh
about.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Claude Frollo looked at me with sultry, smoldering eyes and a deep, wild, sexy, almost growling voice, replied, "Well, what can I say? I cannot help being so gifted."
Wow.
That line was made for you, Dave.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad we kind of switched places on that one.
High
That
five.
worked well.
He flashed
Oh.
a. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that you should go next, so go ahead.
All right. He flashed a wickedly seductive smile as he turned back and continued to croon love songs.
Which I have trouble even imagining.
By now, I was getting a little flustered. Shouldn't you be at your house by now? How long have you been driving?
All of this has been going on in the span of 2 minutes.
I was trying to concentrate on the road, and he kept giving me that "come on" look.
They are all in the span of 2 minutes. They're listening to those Motown records in chipmunk mode.
Right.
Pursing his lips in imaginary kisses. Because
Oh,
he
I
would
can't
do
imagine that, and it's gross.
And mouthing "I love yous," because he's 14 apparently, as we waited out the light at 38th Street.
Continued our northbound journey up Meridian from 40th to 86th Street. North Meridian becomes solidly residential. A
This
wide
became a travel log.
a wide tree-lined boulevard of stately pre-Depression era mansions and manicured lawns. Claude tried to steer the conversation in another direction, as he observed and commented on nearly every home we passed. I knew exactly what he was doing. His previous antics had clearly turned him... Didn't need to know that. Not to mention what he was doing to me.
You should live in such houses, my love, said, indicating a large Georgian-style mansion with stately columns.
Claude, I tried to reason, these homes are expensive. Mid to upper six figures. And I'm not going to begin to tell you the property taxes and the expense of heating and cooling and...
Just a thought, darling. Danisha, don't you have a birthday coming up? I can't think of a more appropriate gift. So you're going to give her a bunch of gold that you don't have because you took an oath of poor?
Yeah, I was going to say, how was this
Poverty, not poor. I was like, why did I blank there?
But yeah, it's just like, how does he have that kind of money to throw down?
He stole it all from the gypsies and just kept it, I guess.
I guess.
Oh boy. Now I was too dumbfounded. Claude Frollo actually offered to buy me a Meridian Street house. You don't have to do that, sugar. I like where I live. It's a nice gesture, but...
Claude leaned over and kissed my cheek. I could feel his warm breath, and smell his spicy, musk-tinged cologne.
When did he have the time to put that on? He took a dip, got naked, lost all of his shit, went through the fucking forest, then the back alleys of Paris into your car.
Right.
Yeah, the musk-tinged cologne is the human shit that he fell in the alleyway. You know, I would do anything for you, dear heart. I just want you to be happy. He caressed my shoulder. Oh, you are so beautiful, he cooed in my ear. Such lovely coloring, almost like dark, wild honey. And taste just as sweet. He sighed and kissed my cheek again. A woman such as you deserves best. Rawr.
I already have the best baby, and he's sitting right beside me.
Claude Frollo smiled, then whispered in my ear, I love you, Nisha. I love you, my sweet, precious darling. With that, he leaned back in his seat and resumed crooning love songs in his deep, smooth, sultry style. As I made the left turn onto the canal road, my house was less than 5 minutes away.